Hello, my name is Kayo, and this is for the electronic literature class. I'd like to first apologize for recording my phone because I am at the library and I'm using the library's computer, so I don't know if this has screen recording, so I'm recording my phone so I can upload in YouTube. Um, I'm running through my project on Construct 3, as you can see from comparing to the first version that I presented. There are way more scenes and layouts and scripts. This is the first layout. This is the introduction, the first part that you can see when you open my work. And so that's just an introduction. There's a lot of text in it. And then here's the code for the introduction. So it's simple, but it's boring. It's complicated. Like it's just a lot of waiting and timing, and some tween effects over there, and then some buttons that I drew them, and then simple stuff as well. They just go to different layout, to the first layout actually. And here's the first level, also simple. The texts and the ideas that you have to collect. Compared to the first version, the first draft, I had the ideas, these little symbols. They were static, they didn't move. And now I made them fall out of the sky, like the ceiling of the face. And so they have physics and they bounce around a bit. So a little bit more dynamic. Then there's the event sheet for the first layout. Essentially, the event sheet is almost the same for all layouts, except for the second and third. You can actually die. Second, third, and fourth, you can actually die. So you might go to a different screen if you die. And simple stuff. First, when I start layout, there's the fading function. Fading, fade out, I set them up. And then the def box. I programmed the def box in here, but you can't die in the first scene, because it's just more like a tutorial, the first scene. And then there's the main story, and then you progress in the main story by collecting the ideas as they add to the main story, to the global variable, as you can see up there. And then you have the ID for the platforms that drop the ideas. I couldn't find a better solution for dropping the ideas randomly, so I just made this. So the platforms that the ideas are on, they will disappear eventually. So that's how I randomly put them. Quotation mark on randomly. And then on the end of layout, you reset the face when you go to the next one. So if you die and you restart, you don't have to actually reshuffle, restart the page. You can actually just continue playing. Then layout 2, nothing different, just there are some moving platforms actually. You'll be able to see that on when you play my game. Also the event sheet for the second layout, and now there's the character def and a collision def box, and then it adds up to player def, global variable as well. And when you get to, I set it up for the second, third, 3 defs so that you can have, and then if you have that, you go to the def screen, which is this. It's just a red def screen that you go to the end, to the beginning of the game. And then there's the code as well. It's similar to the introduction code, but it's of course shorter because it's less text. It also applies to the midway text that I wanted to have like a interlude. So there's some text in here, not as much as in the introduction, but the code is mostly the same. Tween effects and typewriter effect on the text, and the same buttons I used. And then event sheet 3, and then now in the event sheet 3 I added bad ideas, I call them like this in the code, and which you die if you touch them, so it just added extra difficulty. And then also when you touch them, like the first 2 times, you get those messages just for the sake of the story. And then of the fourth level, it's it's a little bit hard, but it's manageable. But then you have the bad ideas, the good ideas. You have to collect the good ideas and you avoid the bad ones. And now you can actually fall out of the map, just like the level 2. So kinda level 4 is a mix of the level 3 and 2. So it has a lot of, not a lot, but like it has an added difficulty. And mostly that's it. And that's the code for the section 4 as well. They are mostly the same code, so there's no much more difference. And then also there's credits, simple stuff as well, just like the first other text parts. The code is simple, so that's it. And I have the project here and different pages to put the inputs, which I use like a keyboard and a mouse, and then some introduction text, not introduction only, but like the introduction, the middle way, like the sections where I basically had only texts. Then I have the sprites. I made most of my sprites except for the main character one, which is a sprite that I found a funny image on like on free open source images, and I was like, that's relatable, and then I use it. And then there's the story texts, so those are actually the ones that appear in the levels. And that's it. Thank you.